and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And it's group deep dive time yet again. And this week, I'm feeling very nervous, but also very, very excited. Because as you could probably tell from the title, today we're going to do a deep dive about my ultimate girl group, Apink, which I'm very excited about, but I'm also feeling very nervous because I feel like, at least in like our friendship, like Apink it's just for me. Like this is my like standing that I do like entirely on my own.
True.
You're very supportive. You came with me to an Apink concert and that was like, that meant a lot to me. And like you always like watch the music video when it comes out, like just because. But like this is a standing I have done like fully on my own, like in a little closet by myself. So I like feel very nervous about like sharing it today because like unlike other groups where deep dives where we like the group, you don't have any love and attention for them like I do. So I feel I just don't want to be too much today. And I'm scared of showing myself to everyone, I guess.
I mean, I think that we have shown so much of ourselves at this point that there's really no... how much worse could it be?
No, I totally know what you mean. I know what you mean. I guess I'm... yeah, no, you're right. We've shared a lot. I guess I'm just sort of thinking that in the specific case of Apink, as opposed to, say, like an EXO or something where I feel like EXO is very, very popular. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel weird being like, listen to these EXO songs. They're the best songs because tons of people agree.
Yeah.
Apink is a very like underrated, like not that like super smash hit of a group. Mm-hmm. And I also don't think that their music, at least their older music, I don't think it's for everyone. So I'm also a little nervous to be like, I love this, when I feel like there's a good chunk of people who will be like, this is my least favorite kind of music. So I'm just kind of like, oh, this is going to be a weird one.
Sure. And I think, well, we chose to do, I mean, but I also think that you could make a very similar argument about a group like Tiara, where their music, or even To Anyone, or Girls' Generation, really, like any of the girl groups that we've done so far, because I think girl groups, maybe more often than boy groups, have a very specific niche that they're put into, like a very specific sound, and that sound is not always for everyone. And so like a lot of Tiara's songs like followed that same club beat. We'll hear a lot of like Apink songs that follow like similar musical themes. And so I don't think you should discount the fact that you love it. Because that argument could be made about any of the groups that we've talked to. Even SHINee's music, like we recommend that so wholeheartedly because we love it so much. But SHINee's music is not for everyone.
That's true.
And so it's worth talking about Apink because even though you can argue that they are underrated in the sense that they're not usually someone who has a number one hit all of the time, they are very successful and they're one of the few girl groups that has longevity that we don't see very often with girl groups because they've been around since 2011.
Yeah. And I think if you were to be the type that counts all those members leaving SM as like a Girls' Generation technical disbanding, if you count that, then Apink is the longest surviving second gen girl group. Mm-hmm. Because literally everyone else has fully disbanded. So like that means something.
Yeah.
And they do have like, we'll get to it, but like they had a lot of number twos before they ever got a number one. So like their songs were out there. It just wasn't all the way best.
Yeah. They have consistently from the beginning had solid success. And I think that even if you are someone who right now is thinking like, oh, I don't think I know any Apink songs, you will know them. Like if you know like basic K-pop history,
if you watch variety shows or whatever.
Yeah, if you watch older variety shows, if you followed like any second gen groups, I think that you have heard most of these title songs, or at least like a handful of them. Because like we said, Apink has always had solid success.
All right. Well, then I guess it's time to just get into it. So big picture details up top. Apink debuted on April 19th, 2011. The company at the time was called A Cube. They have been under technically 3 companies, A Cube, Plan A, and Play M Entertainment, but it's been the same management person. They've just sort of like the parent company has changed.
Yeah.
So it was like Plan A or A Cube was like a subsidiary of Cube, where Cube was bankrolling most of it, but it was like independent technically from Cube.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand it all, but like just know that, I guess, that they've had a couple of companies. I also thought a fun fact is that the name Apink was literally just a placeholder name that the company like had on paper, like Apink. And then it got leaked to the press and they like didn't know what to do about it. They show this whole process in the first episode of Apink News. But some people in the comments were like, oh, it sounds refreshing. It sounds young. Like, it sounds nice. So then they just went with it.
That's really funny.
So, yeah, it was a temporary name. So it doesn't, like, come from it. It was just like Plan A Cube, A Pink, girls, A Pink. Great. There you go. Their fan color is strawberry pink. And their fan club is the Pink Pandas. And then did you have a couple little ward?
Absolutely. So I have in general, like their genre is typically classified as like bubblegum synth pop, which I think is a pretty perfect nailing.
Yeah,
of,
and we
their
said
sound.
in a really, really early episode when we were talking basic concepts that like Apink is a very stereotypical fairy, or they started that way when they were young, fairy idol group.
Yes, they have like the sweet, pure image is like their style of girl group. So they're not like girl crush or whatever, tough. They are fairy idols. They have won 34 awards, 32 music shows. They have put out 8 mini albums, 3 studio albums, and 3 Japanese albums as well.
There you go. So now comes to the part where we go through all of the members so you can get to know the group. So up top, our leader is Chorong. Interestingly enough, we will see there are no stage names in Apink. They all have their own actual names, which is kind of interesting. And Chorong is technically the rapper. I put it in quotes because she like sort of, they did like a little speaky rappy thing early on because like we said, like there was a point, and I think it continues, where like you have to put a rap break and stuff for some reason.
Yeah.
But she's also a lyricist and has been writing lyrics for Apink music for a very, very, very long time.
Yes, she's the most prolific songwriter of the group, and she has penned 12 different tracks over 10 of their albums.
Her birthday is March 3rd, 1991. She's a 3rd degree black belt in Hapkido, which is pretty cool. She's also like BFFs with this guy, Chang Sub from B2B. They're like best friends.
Cute.
And per a quote that Yoonji said just a few months ago, like Chorong is what keeps the group together. Like they all really love her. She's a good like leader mom to them. But they also like give her a real hard time and she loves to scream at them. And we always try to like describe the members so that if you're like watching along with us. So like Chorong has the tiniest whisper voice. Like when she sings, it's like the tiniest, breathiest whisper voice that I've ever heard. She almost always has bangs. And like she has big eyes and a little mouth, and she has those like, I've heard for a while it was like a trend to try to make the like bottom of your eye like look puffier because it like makes you look young and cute. And she definitely has like cute under eye puffies. But I don't know, she just reminds me of like a cartoon or something because her eyes are so like bright and sparkly and she's just like so pretty. I don't know. They're all so pretty. I don't know how to describe them other than that. They're all so pretty.
Yeah, I actually didn't even write physical descriptions of them because it took me a really long time to learn all of their names and faces. And I was like, I don't know. They're just all very beautiful. They're just all very beautiful women. And they change their hair a lot. So I don't know. I found it really difficult to like make more distinct. And because we didn't even say how many of them there are.
Oh, we didn't. There are currently 6. There were 7 when they debuted.
And so because of that, like, it's easier with someone like to anyone where we could be like, so-and-so always has blonde hair and so-and-so always has whatever. Because there were only 4, but there's 7 to 6 members at a time. So it was like a little more challenging.
Yeah. But that's our leader, Chorong. Next in line is Bomi. Been mentioned before. One of my ultimate biases. She's the main dancer and center of Apink. Her birthday is August 13th, 1993. She also is a 3rd degree black belt, but in Taekwondo. So her and Chorong are like the little martial art girls.
It's very surprising.
She is a variety show queen, has like an insane face and no shame. So like she, makes a crazy fool of herself on TV all the time and people love her for it. I wrote that I love to watch her dance. I think she's just one of those people that like literally every little tiny move, every finger, every wink, every head tilt, like she just always chooses the right moment. And she has like great balance that I feel like Lei would be very proud of. And like, I just love watching her dance because she's such a like spazzy person when she's not dancing. And then it's like she can just turn it on and become this like very poised dancer. And it's very amazing to me. I did try to physically describe them. So
go for it.
Because I know them like the back of my hand, but it's still hard to do. So Bomi has a very small mouth, like an insanely small mouth. And it's always kind of a little bit open. Like she has a slight overbite and her mouth is just kind of always open, but it's very small. And then I was like looking it up because I don't know what almond eyes are, but I feel like she kind of has them because they like almost turn, like the shape of her eyes has kind of like there's like a wobbliness to them. And she has a mole like right under her left eye. She has all kinds of different hairs all the time, so that's not helpful. But she is almost always the point of the triangle at the chorus of the dance. Yeah. So that helps in finding her in the crowd. But yes, that's Bomi. Next is Yoonji. She's the lead vocal and the face spokesperson, whatever, of Apink. Yeah.
Arguably, maybe not even arguably, but perhaps it's just a fact. I think she's the most famous.
Yeah. For sure. Her birthday is August 18th, 1993. And she's a power vocalist, like just like insane belty high notes. And I think that is one of the reasons why she is so very famous is that she sings like trot music and ballads and drama OSTs. And like, so there is a whole like older generation of people that really like her as a singer and kind of don't know her as a girl group member.
She also has done a lot of acting and she's released 2 solo albums.
And she has a radio show currently, so she's around. People know about Yoonji. She's from Busan, which I feel like a couple of times we've brought up in group deep dives. Like that makes a member different. Sure. If you're like from Busan, you're different. I feel like Yoonji's like Busanness. What is the word that I'm looking for? Manifests. Yoonji's Busanness like manifests in her like having very short attitude with people, and she also uses old-fashioned words, I guess, because all the times on variety shows she'll say something and the host will stop and be like, I haven't heard anyone younger than my grandma like ever use that word before. So like that's her Busan quirks, is that she's from the country. And we also mentioned really, really, really early on, Yoonji got cast and added to the group like right before they debuted. I think she was only there for 2 months. Like it was super fast.
Yeah.
Because they discovered her on YouTube and was like, she's great. And they threw her in the group. A very easy way to find Yoonji along the group is that she has a giant smile that creates like the tiniest of eye smiles, and she like can't sing without smiling.
Yeah.
And when they have to do like dramatic comebacks or like sad breakup songs, it's like she has to try to force her cheeks down because like singing with a smile is just how she sings. So yeah, that's the easiest way to spot her, is like megawatt smile.
And also, which one is doing the killer notes? That's Yoonji.
Yeah.
She's very easy to spot because she has like one of those in every song. There's like a part where you're like, what?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's Yoonji. Next in line is Naeun. She is the visual and the center dancer, which means she usually starts the songs in the center. Her birthday is February 10th, 1994. And I wrote down, Naeun is my gateway to SHINee. Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
Because it was, as I've told this story a million times, my like K-pop origin story is that a Girls' Generation music video, then found Apink, like spent a whole week of my life like obsessively watching every Apink thing I could find, led me to We Got Married, where Naeun was married, in quotes, to Taemin from SHINee. And that was another beautiful gateway open to me. So I'll always be grateful to her for that because I love my SHINee. So Naeun is like an actress, soju girl. She's in Psy's New Face video.
She's stunningly beautiful. So she's very popular as far as like other music videos and like advertisements and stuff go. She even won NBC's Star of the Year award the year that she was in We Got Married.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, she seems like a super shy type. But all the girls and like every like Apink back, behind the scenes kind of thing shows that she's perfectly capable of being very silly and hyper, but she carries herself in like a shy way. And she's also an artist, and she like did sketches that are in the cover and the booklet art of one of their albums.
Oh, fun.
So she's like a little art girl. Yeah, like we said, Naeun's just like beautiful, and she has that very standard Korean actress face where it's just like her face is like small and slim and like symmetrical and like, I don't know, she just looks like,
oh, really?
I feel like she
disagree.
looks like every actress.
I think she looks very unique. I think that her eyes are, I don't know, something about like her cheekbones and her eyes and the way that she holds her mouth. I don't think her face is very slim. I think it's a little bit like heart-shaped. And to me, she has very distinctive eyes, and the way that she holds her lips over her teeth is like an easy way to spot her. Another way is that Naeun, unlike everybody else, for sure had the exact same hairstyle. She has never had a different hairstyle. Yeah.
Her hair is long and it is parted in the middle, and that is the only way it ever is. It's been lighter,
slightly different colors, but the same hairstyle.
Signature look.
Yeah.
Long, straight hair. So that's her. But and as we've also like mentioned before, if you're watching along in the videos, she has gotten plastic surgery a couple of times. So her face looks different from video to video towards the end. But whatever, we all do our things. So that's Naeun. Next is Namju. She's the main vocal, so she's all the other big high notes that Yoonji isn't singing. Namju sings them. Her birthday is April 15th, 1995. Let's see. Some facts about her. She is like, she loves like dancing and learning other groups' dances. Her and Hayoung, who I'm about to talk about, there's like lots of videos of them like in hotel rooms, like learning other groups' dances when they're bored. She has really, really good stage presence. Like, she makes great faces and is just like so aware of the camera and like dances very hard. And I feel like she's super talented, but for whatever reason, she was like considered the ugly member. And I did air quotes, but you can't see them on the podcast. But like she always, for like their first like 6 comebacks, she had to have short haircuts, which she complained about. Like she didn't like it, but they were like, you have to be the short haircut one. And I don't know. I just always felt like Namju sort of got shoved to the side for some reason. But she was always trying so hard and like she was good. So I don't know why. But whatever. That's a thing about her. But she's like, she has a crazy laugh. She's very, very loud, very like fun and spontaneous and crazy maknae line type of girl. She has really, really big eyes and dimples. And yeah, like forced into short haircuts for a long time. And as we mentioned a while ago, got some pretty drastic plastic surgery recently. So she doesn't quite look the same, but she mostly does. And yeah, that's Namju. And then finally, our maknae is Hayoung. Her birthday is July 19th, 1996.
Yes, she debuted when she was only 14.
When she was 14. And Hayoung, to me, is one of those people that has like Hyuna disease and that she has looked 25 her entire life. She isn't 25 yet, but she has looked like a full-grown adult, like exactly the same, like a full-grown adult woman since she was a teenager. It's super weird. She's always looked exactly the same, and she does not look like the youngest member at all. She loves video games. She just had like a fan meeting recently that was all let me look up what this game is called because I only know it by the acronym and I don't want to say it wrong and look stupid. She plays Battlegrounds online a lot on live streams and stuff. She's like a video game girl. And another interesting thing about Hayoung is that for some reason, when she debuted, the public was like all obsessed with how they don't think she's Korean because she doesn't look it, I guess. Like they've decided she doesn't look Korean, and people were spreading rumors that like her grandparents are Filipino and she was hiding it, and she had to like clarify and be like, I'm all the way Korean, but people were like, I'm not so sure.
Wow.
And even the girls in the group, like they always say that they think she's from somewhere else because she like doesn't look Korean. So I don't know if that helps, but she's like tall and her body's banging and she's like always looked like a grown-up. Like that's what Hayoung looks like. And then lastly, former member Yoo Kyung. She was a 94 liner, so she was like the middle child of the group. And her specialty was English lines. Like she did all the English speaking or like the English lines. That was like sort of her bag. But she left in 2013. I mean, I guess we could get to it later, but I think the general consensus was that she came from a very, very, very wealthy family. And the vibe seemed to be that like her dad was like, you can play Idol for a couple years, I guess. But then in 2013, he was like, no, we're done. You're going to like school to become a doctor now or whatever. Like,
yeah, she left the group so that she could go to college.
Yeah. Cause like her parents were like, you've played your Idol game.
Yeah. Now you're done.
But yeah, they've been the same 6 members since 2013. So that's it. That's Apink. That's who we're working with. Yeah. Now is the part where we go chronologically through their timeline, their discography.
Yes. And their discography starts a little bit before their real debut, only in the sense that in 2010, each member was introduced one by one, like to the public. The company announced, like, with this introducing Bomi, and like she's going to be in this group, Apink. And so it went like Naeun was the first one, and then the last 2 were Bomi and Namju. And so they were introduced one by one, and then they did a little documentary series called Apink News, which they've done like 3 seasons of.
Yes, and all 3 are still on YouTube, thanks to our friends at Apink Subs, a YouTube channel I've been subscribed to for 6 years, and they've never let me down. But yeah, you can still watch this Apink News. It was like a fun show that was like truly formatted like a news, like investigative news program, and each episode is like hosted by a different like famous like cube artist or comedian or whatever. So like the B2B boys are there, and then like Beast does an episode or whatever. And it introduces, like, shows the group getting put together and them at their like first photo shoot and whatever. And then they have in subsequent years done more seasons of Apink News. But originally it was to like show the group to the world.
Yeah. And now, or at least with the later seasons, the girls now play like directorial and writer producer roles in it. Like they have a lot more responsibility as far as making the show itself.
Yeah. The other one, they're like honestly not even really in the first episode. It's like mostly like CEOs and stuff like talking about this group that's coming. So yeah, that was their pre-debut stuff. Their actual debut day, as I said before, is April 19th, 2011. And their first album was called 7 Springs of Apink. And I have it here in the studio right now because I always bring little like totems when we do these deep dive episodes. So yeah, I have their debut album here and they look like little fresh babies. And it's just like a plain little CD. It's like a super simple debut album. It's the cutest. Anyway, and their debut song is called 몰라요, or I Don't Know. So in my mind, I have this song like very high on my greatest debuts of all time list. I think this is just like a perfect song. I love it so much. The music video stars Beast's Kikwang, who is still like a very successful solo artist. We just got an email recently from a listener who like really loves this guy. But he's like a handsome like prince type guy.
He's just like a handsome boy who, I don't know, like falls and hits his head or something.
Yeah, he's like unconscious at some point.
Yeah, which honestly fits kind of nicely with like the musical theme of it, because I think that the melody of this song sounds like something out like a song from Snow White. And it has very much like Disney synth or whatever.
Yeah.
It to me reminded me a lot of A-Teens and like the ABBA stuff that we had talked about a couple of episodes ago. But yeah, so the music video is like sort of fairy tale-ish. There's like a meadow and an orchard and a pretty boy that like at a certain point is like unconscious and they nurse him back to health or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. The video this is also important to me. Like you mentioned before, like that kind of 90s, 18s, whatever vibe, I think is one of the strongest things that like pulls me to Apink. We can talk about more specific songs like as they come, but I think it's that sort of old school vibe that we were talking about a few weeks ago that like is really what draws me to this. And watching this music video this week, I felt a lot of feels because like truly this is my gateway. So like just thinking about these old Apink things like bring me back to a very special time when K-pop was new in my heart. But I think like I was just saying when Yusong was here last week that like, oh, I love all these new groups and these Luna and like doing this like making a door out of people or whatever choreography. And while I do like that, watching this has made me realize that there's truly nothing I love more than like a line of people wearing the exact same thing, doing the exact same dance. Like I find it comforting or something. I just really like it. And in this video, there's like white dresses and there's like a very like pretty rose pink school uniform type thing. And I love the choreography to this because it's like kind of like sharp, but like also kind of smooth. And it like really, it goes fast with all the lyrics. And yeah, I just like love this song as a debut. I think it's good.
Absolutely. They also promoted a song called It Girl off of this album. Did you want to play a clip of that song?
I can. Okay. I wasn't sure how many clips we would play, but here, wait, no, I'll just do the phone one because the music video is like the remix. It's kind of annoying. But It Girl is definitely a different kind of song. My boy. Yeah, that It Girl is definitely like a, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's a G ripoff.
G ripoff is good, but like video game music or something. There's just something
video game music for sure. The stage, I watched a stage of this, and poor Namju has the craziest. All of the stage hair is bad, and Namju has like pigtails that have been made into like weird fox ears, and wire is sticking out of them, and or like stuck in them, and they're just straight up in the air.
Like a kangaroo.
It's horrible. It's real. It's bad. Yeah, this second B-side off of this album wasn't great, but
I like it. I like all of this. I'm standing behind all of this unless I otherwise state. But you please have opinions. I'm the stan in the room today.
Sure. I mean, I think I Don't Know is the kind of song that like when I first heard it, I was like, no, this isn't for me. It Girl is one of those songs where to this day, I'm like, no, this isn't for me. But I have an appreciation for the like A-Teens, like ABBA synth style of I Don't Know today. Also in 2011, before we move on to their next little EP, I just want to shout out that they did have a reality show with Infinite, which was called Birth of a Family, and that came out in November of 2011. And then that same month, they came out with their second mini album, which was called Snow Pink, and the lead single off of the song was called My My.
So My is the song that I think is like what made me decide to like stan Apink forever. Is like it's a perfect me song. It's like it's just like I wrote 90s pop out of my dreams and fully the reason I fell into K-pop so hard.
Yeah.
Cause that there's just like I don't know how to describe it other than like that's Dream Street. I don't know.
I wrote, and I think that you'll identify with this, that it is iconic Disney pop.
Yeah.
And was this on the Princess Diaries soundtrack? Because that's the kind of song this sounds like.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, that's it. This song, like many songs we're going to talk about today, was written by Shin Sedong Tiger, hit maker, producer. The music video concept is like, they're in front of this like plain white house and Naon has gotten like a love letter from a boy and the rest of them are like, ee! And then they help her get ready for her date.
Yeah. And there's like a weird basketball jersey breakdown in the middle of it.
That part is the weirdest part. And when they performed it on stages, and that's not in the like on the album track. That like breakdown is not in the song. It's just in the music video. But there's
That's so weird.
It is weird. But there's an outfit in this music video. I mean, for the house part, they're wearing like colorful chucks and like little Letterman jackets and like huge chunky jewelry. But there's a box, like the box video stage where they're just in the big white room and they're wearing these like little blue shorts that have suspenders. Ugh, so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
Very, very cute.
So I love My. I love it.
Absolutely. So this album, just a few fun facts about the rest of this year. This album, they promoted it with a little cafe where the girls themselves like prepared the food and sold it, and all of the proceeds of that cafe went to charity.
Cute.
And they also this year they won the Female Rookie Award at the Mamas and released their first School Looks music video with Beast.
Was that Skinny Baby?
I don't know. I didn't write down the titles because they did a lot of them.
Yes, they did. They absolutely did. But they're all just fine. They're songs that like
I figured
owned.
We wouldn't play.
Well, I won't play them, but they're songs that I like owned and like listened to a lot because when I was first getting into them, every bit that there was important to me. But yeah, they're fine. And then I also have. Then when 2012 started, they won 3 more Rookie of the Year awards.
Mm-hmm. And they got their first music show win on M Countdown in January of that year with My.
With My. Love it. Love it.
That happened in January, and then in April of 2012, it was their first year anniversary. And Apink does this every year. They release a fan song on their anniversary.
Yes.
They release it as a single, and then it's usually included in whatever album comes out that year. But so this was the first one. It was called April 19th, and it was co-written by Chorong. I didn't write anything. I didn't actually listen to the song, but that is what it is called.
Very good. I was just going to, funny anecdote. My friend Vanessa got married on April 19th. And when we were all like putting our bridesmaids dresses on and like getting ready, I made everyone stop and listen to that Apink song. I was like, it's for today and it's only good for today. So we have to listen to it today. It's just like it's a nice ballady fan song. I really like it. And there's a devastating video. It's not devastating. It makes my heart feel warm. But they sang it at the end of their like first big real concert, and Namjoon and Yoonji are crying way too hard and like can't sing the song. They just start saying the lyrics because they can't do it. They're crying too hard. So it's definitely like a nice fan song, and it clearly still like rouses emotion in them. So 419 is that song.
Yes.
But the album itself came out a month later.
Mm-hmm, in May.
And it's called Unane. I don't speak French, but there's a track at the beginning of the album that's like water dropping and Chorong's voice going Uinane. It's super weird, and it's like not a song. It's just like introducing the album. It's so odd. But they say
Weird.
oui nane, but I'm sure that's not how you would say it in French.
Strange. Well, they promoted 2 songs off of this album.
Okay.
The first one they promoted in May and June, and it was called Hush.
So as you can hear, this one was much dancier, like clubby dancier than their previous stuff. It was written by a producer named Super Changdai.
Okay.
No, not this song, excuse me. There are 2 songs on the album written by someone named Super Changdai, and they are the only Apink songs that I do not like and have the little download icon next to them on my
Like
full
the 2
Apink
you
list
don't
because
have
I
on your
don't
phone.
want those 2 on my phone. And they're the only ones I don't want. So if that says something about this album, I feel like they were trying something, and like Apink wasn't supposed to be a dance group, if you ask me.
Yeah, and this song I think would have fit much better into Tiara's discography. But I do like the little like hip choreo in it.
Yeah, I love the choreo. I wrote there's a part where they like stand in a line and they fold their arms and do like a little backwards walk that I've always liked. And in the music video itself is, I wrote, the boxiest box video of all time. It's like it's the most boxy box video I've ever seen. But they're all wearing like white skinny jeans, little white crop tops, and these giant pink polka dot stilettos that I love. But like they're too high. They're too young and those high heels are too high, and like
They always
a
wore
weird
high heels
step.
though. Like even from their very debut,
But they
they're
were-
chunky,
chunky.
but tall.
Yeah.
Really tall. Like much taller heels and shorter uniform skirts than teenagers their age normally would have worn. But yeah, anyway, that was Hush. And then the second song, and like arguably more successful or like more recognizable title track off of this, is called Booby Boo, which they promoted in July.
용기는 말할래요 천천히 널 들어보내 부비부 네 손꼭 잡고 부비부 너만 보면 날 간지러 그댈 보면 날 룰루랄라 이름만 들어도 좋아 목소리
And as is discussed in the very first episode of this podcast, it was this song specifically coming up on my Pandora that made me like look up Apink and ruined my life forever. I understand that this is truly the cheesiest song that could ever exist, but I love it.
And we have played this song before in that very first episode. So if you're like, hey, that sounded familiar, and you think you haven't heard it anywhere else, you have
It's 'cause
heard
we
it
told
here.
you.
You heard it here first. This was the third single that they promoted off of this album, because technically April 19th was the first one. And this one was chosen by the fans from an online
Yeah,
poll.
I saw that.
And that's why they promoted this. But I watched a little music core stage of it. And I think that Apink just does. First, there have been like other songs where I just wrote down that like I think Apink is the group that does this genre of music the best. And they always have the cutest chunky heels, and they are absolutely the queens of having perfectly coordinated but not exactly matching outfits.
Yeah, they do that very well.
They
I
do
think.
it really, really well. There's a stage of this song that they do on Music Core where they're wearing like the cutest little ensembles.
Is it the
of,
yellow
like,
ones with the little straw hats?
Namjoon's definitely wearing a straw
God, I
hat, but
love
it's
it.
like green and white plaid,
Okay.
and they look like they're out of The Sound of Music,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Kurt and Lederhosen, and I fucking love it.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
look
yeah.
precious.
So cute.
I've also noted, I haven't like said this out loud yet, but Apink's choreo is very distinctive, I think, in that like it's not super crazy, but it has a very distinct style that they like keep with the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think their specialty is doing really cool. They always get at a certain point in their dance, they get in a line and then they do some kind of like ripple effect or like step out of the line, and it always looks so great.
I agree. I love their dances. So that's the beginning of 2012. I don't have anything written till 2013.
Yeah, that takes them pretty much like through 2012. And then in 2013, they, at the beginning of the year, they come out with a second music video for School Looks with Beast. And then Young leaves in April. And then in July, they come out with their third EP, which is called Secret Garden. And the title track is called No, No, No. Everything about this is a perfect example of exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
The cute and sassy, distinctive choreography, coming out in a line in a cute, ripply way, and having beautiful, coordinated, but not matching outfits in every scene. I nailed it.
You totally nailed it. This song was also written by Shinstong Tiger. And the company said that the concept of this album was supposed to be like healing and refreshing as to not shock fans after a member departure. This song is the like most peppy of that album. The rest is it is very like springy and like summer. It feels like a sigh. I have in my hand this little, I knitted this little Bomi doll for myself like 6 years ago, and she's wearing the outfit that she's wearing in the No, No, No music video, which is the music video I want to live in, according to our like 10th episode where we like asked each other those weird questions, because they're all wearing these like perfect two-piece like floral things that are like either a shorts and a skirt and a top. Like, I still don't have one of those. And so all these years later, I'm still mad about it. Because I remember, because this video had only been out for a week when I like fell into the hole. So I remember like asking on my Tumblr, putting up screenshots and being like, does anybody know where I could get an outfit like this? And no one knew. Yeah. Like, and I still don't have one, and I'm still upset about it. It was so great. But like, I also wrote like, everyone loved this song. How was it still only number 2? Because I just remember this song being fucking everywhere.
It was, and people really liked doing the dance.
Yes.
So there's like tons and tons of videos of like boy groups doing the dance on like Weekly Idol and stuff. And they did it on like Roommate, I think.
Yeah, people like love to do the No, No, No dance.
Yeah, because it's really cute, and it has like little hip shaky choreography, and it's kind of easy to do.
And the lyric, like the chorus lyric is like, don't cry, no, no, no. Or don't be sad, no, no, no. Like, don't cry, no, no, no. Like, I'm going to hold you, and like, we'll have a brighter day ahead. So like, also, like, a specific, like, shiny memory. It was on We Got Married, but, like, Taemin was frustrated about something, and then everybody was like, Sipu Hajiba, no, no, no. Like, you can sing it at people when they're sad.
So this was, at the time, their highest charting single. It did go to number 2. It also reached number 2 on Billboard's K-pop Hot 100. And they won, in 2013, the Next Generation Global Star Award at the Mamas.
Very nice. So that was 2013. And like, from what I remember, like, Naeun was on We Got Married, and like Yoonju was acting, and like they were starting to like do things as like famous members of this group that people
and they both
knew about.
Started and ended this year with a School Looks music video. But the first one was with Beast in January, and the second one was with BAP in December.
Yes.
Switching it up.
That was a very popular Tumblr tag at the time, Apink. Because people like loved the interactions and like, yes. And
Plus
is
it's
clever.
a good mashup name.
It is. Do you have anything between then and the next album?
No, the next thing I have is that in 2014, in January, they released a song called Good Morning Baby, which celebrated the 1000th day since their debut. And that reached number 6 on the Gaon chart. And then they came out with their 4th EP, which was called Pink Blossom. And the title track for this song is called Mr. Chu.
I loved this comeback so much. Because it was the first comeback that I was like there for. So I remember when the video dropped and like running to my computer. So exciting. This song is like dancier than previous stuff, but it's still like very Apink.
Very cutesy.
And the music video itself was directed by Digipetty. We haven't talked about that was so many episodes ago, but like you can see it in the color palette of the music video, which I think is a great color palette.
Absolutely.
The concept of the video is that they're on like, there's like a tennis court set where they're all in really cute tennis outfits. And then there's also like a hallway, like a locker hallway where they are all wearing the most perfect little school uniforms and these high black socks with heels that look so good. And everyone's hair was perfect.
Yeah.
It was like the best any of their hair, like all of their hair looked up until that point. And yeah, this comeback was just very good to me. I remember liking it so much.
Yeah, this is my personal favorite Apink song, like up until this point, I would say, in their discography, for sure. I've always loved this music video. It's super, super cute. All of the outfits in it are to die for. And the song in general went to number 2 on the Billboard's K-pop Hot 100. They won 6 music show trophies, and it became the 8th best-selling digital song for that year.
There you go. And then
they also, sorry.
No problem.
Also won the Best Female Dance Award for Mr. Chu at the Melon Music Awards that year.
I love the choreo for it. There's a part in in the like bridge right before the verse where they're shaking their butts and their heads, but they're at opposite times. And like some of them are going up and some of them are going down. So it's like there's a lot happening, but it like looks very cool.
And the little line when they say Mr. Chu, because Chu is like a kiss. And so they do this little like finger gun thing with their fingers, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
I love the choreography for this. It's adorable.
Really good. Oh, and I was gonna say on the choreography line, because like that video pointed it out to me, something I think that's very cool about Apink is while they do occasionally, because they have even numbers, do the hidden member in the back thing, but I feel like they really try not to. And when they get in a V, now that there's 6 of them, Bomi is in the middle, and then they just kind of space in a way, even though there's only 2 on one side and 3 on the other, where it still looks like an even V somehow. I love it.
I think they do it where like if you were to look at it from the side, the side with 2 are in the windows of the 3. So that they end up being like kind of equally spaced. Because they almost never fall into that trap of losing a member, even though they have an even number.
Yes.
So good for them.
I will say one more Mr. Chu thing that I love is that one of the sets that I often forget about that's in the music video is there's one where they're just in a white room and they are wearing like hot pink dresses that are made out of like Hawaiian shirt pattern or something.
One of them has a plastic skirt.
Yoonji's skirt is clear pink plastic. And it's not great. And it almost doesn't fit with the video, but also at the same time, it somehow kind of does. But I feel like that's the only questionable part of that whole video for me is like the hot pink of it. Like the hot pink of it all is pretty hot pink. But anyway, that was Mr. Chu. I have in August 2014, that's when they made their Japanese debut. We always got to note it in these episodes and then move past it, but that's when it happened.
Yes, I also they did quite a lot in 2014. After this Pink Blossom EP came out, Bomi and Namju came out with a subunit.
Yes,
Do you have anything to say about that?
I don't have anything to say about BNN because it was just like for anniversary episode of a TV show or something. So it was like more an OST than it was an official subunit debut.
Oh, okay.
But it was like a fun little thing. But that's a thing that like pandas bring up a lot when they like tease doing things where the girls are like, oh, subunits. People are like BNN. Like,
oh yeah,
they want it to come back. But yeah, it was just like one little side project.
Perfect.
Not really treated like a big subunit debut.
They also went and they did, I think it was kind of like EXO's Showtime. They did Apink
It's the
Showtime.
same.
Yeah, they replaced Infinite, I think, if I remember that correctly. And so they have 8 episodes of a show called Apink's Showtime. And then they debuted in Japan, promoted that for like a couple months. And also, while they were promoting in Japan, raised money to build an ALS hospital.
Yes.
Because they're charitable ladies.
They are so charitable ladies. And they also, just to bring this up in the random middle, and I'm sure I've talked about it on the show before, but like just to show what a loving, generous family they are, they have always, since the beginning of their career, they pool all of their money and they split it evenly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
even
matter.
from their solo activities.
So even if one of them is doing real good, they like all share, which is I think that like helps their bond.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that is kind of all the things that they were up to in the fall. And then in November, they released their 5th EP called Pink Love with the title track Love.
아무것도 필요 없어 그날을 기억하나요 우리 함께 했던 시간을 I'll be in love 설레이나요 한때 모든 것이었던 L.O.V.
So I don't know if you're hearing it in the clip, but this was quite a departure from their normal style, because this was like Apink's first, like, at least as a promoted single, like they're like a breakup song and not a like happy puppy summertime I love you boy song. Like it's a sad where you're not in love anymore. And the like styling in the music video and for all the stages is they have like little rhinestones in their eyes, like where tears would be forming.
Yeah.
So it like they have like sparkled tears like at all times. And it was like grown up Apink. And I remember when the teasers came out and they were wearing like tailored pants. And I was like, oh my God, they grew up.
Yes, I wrote that down too. I was like, this is more grown up because they're wearing slacks. And it's the first time that they're not in like little cutesy girl outfits.
Yeah.
They're wearing slacks.
And like big sweaters. And yeah, they're all like the vibe of the video is like there's like, you know, leaves blowing around and all the trees are dead. And they're like in an empty mansion and like looking out the window. And then they'll be like sitting on a couch and it will flash to like, oh, there's a boy, like a faceless boy with them on the couch. And then he disappears.
Yeah.
Like they're remembering.
Old-timey memories and stuff. This song is spelled L-U-V, which I thought was interesting because they do spell L-O-V-E in the
sure
chorus.
do.
It is written by Shinsadong Tiger again, and it was their first #1.
And they got a music show triple crown from it as well.
This song was their first to go to #1 on the Gaon weekly and monthly chart. The album went to #1 in the first week. It was the first, they won first place on all 3 major music shows for 2 weeks in a row. They are the only girl group to do that in 2014. They also won the Triple Crown in Inkigayo. They won all of the music shows in December, and it was they were the 3rd best selling girl group of 2014.
Yeah, this song was a moment. I feel like I remember it being absolutely everywhere. The moment that sticks the most in my mind is that New Year's V Live that Key and Mino did, and they were like, and they say at the end like, "Oh, Apink's gonna be here tomorrow," and then they both do that. Like they both know even Mino knows the choreography to it, and they sing it because everybody loved this song.
Everybody loved it, and everybody knew it.
Yeah, so that was a big moment. Finally, after all this time, out of that #2 to the #1, they did it.
And the success of this song continued for the first month of 2015, because in January, they were the first girl group to win 5 consecutive Music Core Awards. They won a Digital Bonsang and Best Female Performance at the Golden Disc. They won 2 awards that year at the Seoul Music Awards, Best Female Group for the Korean Culture and Entertainment Awards, and they had their first headlining concert, which sold out in 2 minutes.
Wow. Yeah,
Which was
Pink,
a big deal back in 2015.
I mean, I feel like
when
that's
the internet was slower.
I feel like that's as fast. It feels like that's as fast as anything should be able to sell out, right?
But it doesn't. Remember when
right.
Lay's got sold out in like 0.3 seconds and even he couldn't get tickets to it?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Things are faster.
Things are
but
faster
yeah, that
now.
solo concert was called Pink Paradise. There were very good solo stages. They all did fun stuff. It was great.
They also did their second Japanese release right at the beginning of 2015. And then they, like every year, released their anniversary song. This one's called Promise You, and it was written by Yoonji.
막아도 네가 새어나와서 날 비추는 저 달빛에 불러도 보고
So like I said, that was their anniversary song. So they released it as a single before the official music video or before the official album came out. I love that song. And I thought if we didn't play a clip of it, that was going to be my recommendation. Because I just think it's so pretty.
Yeah, not to jump the gun too much because we'll get there in 1 second, but this album, I would say, of all the songs we're going to talk about today, like this album, Pink Memory from 2015, is the most solid Apink album. I stand hard behind every single song on it. And if I were to tell y'all to listen to anything, I would say this is the album because like every song on it is pretty great. And it's still their like fresh, girly Apink sound, but it's not the bubblegum that they had come from. It's like, I feel like it's a happy medium between where they are now and like where they started. So
Absolutely.
I really like Pink Memory as an album.
I think that's a good argument that it's like halfway in between where they started and where they currently are.
So this was July 2015, and the single off Pink Memory was called Remember.
돼 있고 그때 우리처럼 remember 우리 비추던 태양 넓고 푸른 바다 마치 연애처럼 시간은 멈춰
This is another Shinsadong Tiger one. And yeah, we brought this song up I had it as one of my submissions when we did our summer jams last year, because this is definitely a summer song.
Yeah. The music video concept is very summery. Half of it's on a yacht. The other half is like in a meadow. And then the third half, because there are 3 halves to it, is like is on a beach or something. And it has that like iconic pan flute line to it, the little hook.
Yeah.
That I think is so funny.
Yeah. I love this music video because, as I've discussed on this program before, I love nautical themes for outfits. I don't like boats, and I'm not like a boat person, but like I love a navy, I love a white, I love a little tie of something around my shoulders. So like the vibe of this music video is my favorite. Again, great hair moments for everybody. The like Coachella outfits when they're in the meadow are also kind of fun.
Yeah.
Vests and
fringy things.
Balloons.
Yeah.
So this one, and I also noticed, because I guess I hadn't thought about it, but the music video also follows a trope that we've talked about before, which is like in a summer party song, it has to end at a night party.
Oh, yeah.
So the end of the music video, they're in like black cocktail dresses and fancy makeup and like holding martini glasses, because you have to end your summer thing at a summer party.
Yeah, you
It's the
spend all day
rules.
at the boat and then you go to the club.
Exactly.
That's how I've spent all my summer. Anyway, so like we said, this album, Pink Memory, this was their second full studio-length album. And they went on, after Remember came out, they went on to have shows in Japan and Thailand, Malaysia, US. This is when we saw them.
Yes.
And then they put out their first Japanese full studio album, and they became the second best selling girl group in 2015.
Wow. 2015, they did it. That was great. So then there was a big gap, and they didn't do any like big promotions as a group again until September 2016. That's when they put out their third full album, which is cool. Like, because the last one was their second full album, and then they went straight to a third album instead of a little EP. In the middle.
They didn't do anything in between. As they released again their anniversary song, which this time it was called "The Wave," and it was by Chorong. They also, before this third studio album, released their first original Japanese single, which became a theme song for an anime called Rilu Fairy Lu.
Oh, wow. That sounds very their vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means, but I heard fairy and I think I get it.
So they sing the opening theme song for that. And they won like a couple awards at the beginning of the year. And then this third studio album came out after their longest hiatus since their debut.
Yes. And the album was called Pink Revolution, and the single is Only One.
너무 부드러운 향기 조금 부끄러운 떨림 사실만 두려운 걸 가슴 벅차도록 용기를 줘요 조용히 꽉 날 안아줘요 너도 나와 같은 마음이길 바래.
So this song was composed by Black Eyed Pilsung, and their name is going to come up a bunch more for the rest of the time. And this music video, I feel like, is definitely a bigger departure from everything that they had done before then, in that like all of the girls are very, very separate, and they all have their own little set in like a house, and it's like it seems like it's just like a sweaty, all their hair is slightly wet. Like I can't tell if they're supposed to just look like they're hot because there's like fans running and stuff. But they're just like in a house, and there's like kittens and fish tanks and like neon, and there's like
they're sitting in front of a fan.
and there's kind of like a gray filter over the whole thing that makes it look kind of gauzy. But you don't even see them dance or in their dance outfits until like a minute 40 into the video. So it just doesn't feel like the others. I feel like they feature their dance more or whatever. And this one was just more like glamour shots of all of them like in cute outfits in a house, just like looking wistfully outside of windows before they get to the like choreo part.
Yeah. This album in general, both Chorong and Yoonji spoke a little bit when the album came out that this really marked like the turning point in their discography, because it's like they're presenting a much more like grown-up image, and they stated that this album was meant to reflect growth and maturity, and that they were going to, from now on, focus on making complex and beautiful music versus, quote, simply fun and catchy songs. So they also they also promoted two other songs from this album, Boom Pow Love and Ding Dong. And the song Only One went to number 1 on 7 charts in just hours after it was released.
Yeah, it was really a moment. I don't like the chorus of this song very much. I really like the verses, but I've never like been a huge fan of this one. But I was like glad that people liked it, because again, I like don't want my group to fade into obscurity. But just like on a personal note, I didn't like love this one, but it was fine.
Fair enough.
The next thing I have on the list is that in December of that year, a thing they'd never done before, they released a special album called Dear. And it had like some remixes and some acoustic versions and of like older songs. But the actual like single that was on it and was promoted and played on the radio or whatever is called 'Cause You're My Star. This music video is like, it's boxier than the last couple, but I thought it was interesting that one of the main outfits in the music video is like cropped cardigans and plaid clueless skirts, but it was like 3 years before everybody started wearing those, like, because now that's the thing. But 3 years ago, Apink was already wearing it. But yeah, this is just like a nice little, like a quick little weird, like EXO style Christmas end of the year
strange Christmas album.
Do you have anything between then and 5?
The only other thing that I have for 2017 before they release their 6th EP is that Yoonji releases her 2nd solo mini album and hosts her first solo concert. And then again in April 2017, they release a fan song for their anniversary. This one was called Always. And then they come out with their 6th EP, which was called Pink Up. And the title song was called 5.
Okay, I can only sigh loudly for this one. This is another Shinsadong Tiger song. I hate this song. I absolutely hate it because it's literally Love and No 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 if they were just the same song. And it was just very disappointing because it was like they've already released this song before. And I'll play it at the end in my little like recommendation B-side section. But there was another song on this album called Kok Kok that they'd like did on music shows and has choreo to it and whatever. And if they had just made that the lead single, I think this album would have done really, really well because that song was like interesting. It was different. It was like another side of Apink. It was a little smooth, a little sexy. It wasn't like anything else that was out that year. And I just think they made a huge mistake by putting out this like song that literally sounds like a ripoff of their other songs.
Yeah, a ripoff of their own music.
And also, it's like the music video is like a bad box video, but that the box itself is CGI. Like they're like board game pieces or something, but it's like the room they're standing in, even though it's just a plain purple room, it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
It's like they're in empty negative space.
Also, not that this has anything to do with the quality of the song, but Bomi's haircut is atrocious.
I wrote it down. I wrote Bomi's haircut was a literal travesty, and I was devastated this whole comeback.
Yeah, it was upsetting. She had really, really small bangs and a super blunt, really short bob, and it did absolutely nothing for her face.
Yeah. It was really, really bad. And I like don't know why or how it happened. I think she said like, oh, my hair was dying and they had to cut it off. I think it was that she had truly been wearing extensions since Love, because when they performed, I should have said it back when we were talking about it, but when they performed Love on music shows, she had the most insane haircut that anyone's ever had in this whole world. And it was like all the hair from her ears forward was cut to chin length and the rest was all the way down her back.
Oh yeah, no, we've talked about this haircut. Sunny had the same haircut.
Yeah, it's like a fake out bob where it's actually just like a huge mullet. And I think from then on they were putting weird extensions in it. And then it like must have just gotten all ratted and dyed. And then they just chopped it to her ears and it's hideous.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's hideous. Okay. Anyway. So that was a comeback that I feel like was a disappointment. I don't know how did it do okay in the charts? I don't think so because I think
honest,
people didn't care.
I didn't write anything down from it, so I guess not. But they did go on later that year to then have another Japanese release, like more Japanese releases, and they did a multiple country Asian tour. So they were busy.
Busy enough that they didn't come back again until July 2018.
At the beginning of 2018, they had their 4th Korean concert, and then they again in April, as always, released a new fan song. This time it was called Miracle. And then their 7th EP.
Which was called 1 and 6, which I think is confusing because it's the 7th EP, so I don't quite know where the 1 and 6 comes from.
1 + 6 is 7.
Oh, wow. Jesus. I was thinking like 1 and 6, like 16 or like, but yes, 1 and 6 is 7. Wow. Because they're 6 and they're 1. Okay. Wow. I feel real stupid. It's all just coming together. This makes perfect sense. It's a perfect album title. The single off this one was called I'm So Sick. But here's the catch. When we do these group deep dive episodes, we save the most viewed video for last, like we would if it was a random game. So we're not going to watch or play I'm So Sick right now. We'll get to it really soon.
Is this their most played?
It is at the moment. I truly think it probably shouldn't be. But the problem is because Apink is so old school and their company, they changed companies so many times that the original uploads of all of their music videos are gone now and were only added to YouTube in the last 2 years. So all their old video views are lost to the ages. So we don't actually know, but I'm So Sick is technically at 70 mil, like the most popular right now. So we'll get to it.
So we'll get to that one in a minute, then we won't talk about it now, but it did I will just say it has a very, very, very different vibe from like pretty much anything Apink had ever done. They did promote a B-side from this track or from this album, which was called All Right. And this is cutesier and like way more true to their like original sound. But the album itself went to number 1 on the Gaon chart. It went to number 11 on the Billboard World, which is the highest that Apink has ever gotten on the Billboard World charts. The single I'm So Sick went to the number 1 on the Gaon chart and was listed as one of the 20 best K-pop songs of the year by Billboard. And they finished their year by having another Asian tour and winning a top 10 artist award at the Melon Awards that year.
Yeah, this song, like from my Panda perspective of like watching all of this go down, I feel like this is the comeback that like introduced Apink to a new generation of stans. Because I think if you joined into K-pop like post like no, then like maybe it's possible that Apink slipped under your radar, or you just didn't notice them because they were making like girly bubblegum music. But yeah, we'll watch the video soon. But this song is like, very grown. I wouldn't know. I guess technically the concept would be girl crush, because like anything that doesn't fit into those other categories is like girl crush. But I don't know. They're like glamorous women. So I wouldn't even know. I don't even know.
We'll talk about it when
we'll talk about it. But yes, that song was written by Black Eyed Pilsung, who we talked about a second ago. And it was a smash. And then that brings us to their most recent comeback, which was this year.
It was in January of this year. That same month, they also held their 5th Korean concert and another Japanese show. And then they came out with their 8th EP, which was called Percent. And the single is called or percent sign.
I still can't believe this song only came out this year. This year has been
I was
long.
Utterly shocked to hear that this song came out this year. I like truly couldn't even believe it. But I really liked this song when it came out. I really liked the music video. It's like sexy and cute. The outfits again are super adorable and I would wear all of them. I love the chorus little like
because that's where the and the percent, because written in Korean, if you took that percent sign and just shifted it slightly so that it's straight up and down, that's what like the characters and that's a like informal way to say yes. Yeah. So it's like is kind of like the
It's like like if someone asked you a question, you went
Yeah,
it's like an informal way to say yes.
I feel like it's also kind of a sarcastic, like, sure. Because they're like frustrated
so more
with
like a
men. Yeah. And the music video is like a pink retro hollow fantasy. And they're all like glittery sparkle dresses. And they're like, the one thing about it is I feel like other than any of their music, this video is kind of creepy. Or at least like there's like an oddness, like any of the scenes where the girls are just like in little pairs, they're dead eye staring at the camera like creepy dolls.
In the way that like Red Velvet loves to do, and the way that like OGG Lil Touch had like those solo shots of them in like a greenhouse wearing a beautiful dress. And
then it ends with them doing some witchery. They like the whole video, they have like little pieces, little hands, little hearts or whatever that are like covered in rhinestones, and they put them in this milky pink water, and then they lay a suit out on the table and they like take the heart out of the pink water and put it on the suit, and then the suit starts to fill like there's a man in it and it like floats up off the table, and they all just like sit dead-eyed and watch the suit float, and that's how the video ends. So there's like it's kind of creepy. So it's a real like departure, but they're growing up and they're trying things, and it seems like these like new generations of stans are on board, and I love that. I really do like love that people like this. But I think one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode was because I still truly, really deep in my heart love and believe in all that earlier stuff, and I feel like people didn't hear it, so I just wanted to like share it.
Absolutely, for this new generation of Apink fans that may be
Yeah.
out there. I think that this album very much follows the trajectory that they started out with I'm So Sick. And I think and that like I'm So Sick, I think follows logically from what was the previous album that we talked about? From Only One. I think that their music in the last like 3 albums, they've clearly been like taking, I think, maybe a little bit more charge, or at least like maybe if they're not necessarily taking their own charge, like they have a certain, they have a clear idea for what kind of music that they want to make, and that's what they're sort of like playing with new things, which I think is fun. The album itself went to number 3 on the Gaon chart and number 14 on the Billboard World Albums chart, and they also promoted a second B-side off of it, which was called Hug Me, and it's just one of those like sit and sing songs. It has like a more of an R&B beat with some like TLC-ish harmonies, but yeah.
Yeah. So that
wasn't so long ago.
Yeah, they also put out, like always, they put out their April 19th song this year. It's called Everybody Ready. It has like horns in it. It's peppy. It's very peppy. But yeah, that like brings us to where we are now. And, you know, sometimes when we do these deep dives, it's like, and then the group disbanded or whatever, or then they went to the military.
Yeah.
But this is a situation where like, Apink's not done. They all claim that they have like no intention of stopping anytime soon. And like Yoonji's like, Chorong will never let us break up. Like we're gonna be girl Shinhwa, like just you wait. And I have high hopes for that because I really do think that they're all great and they clearly like really get along with each other and work well together. So I think I have hope that it will keep continuing on.
Yeah. And they're still going strong, which like most of the girl groups we've done so far, like that has not been the case. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to be like, we look forward to seeing what else they do.
Yeah. And one thing, I'm trying to find the date so I can plug it properly for the next like Apink thing that's coming in the future. Is that our sweet maknae Hayoung is going to be the second member ever of this group to go solo. And she's putting out a solo album on August 21st. So that's like in 2 weeks from when you hear this. So I'm very proud of her. It's very exciting for like a maknae solo album. So yeah, Apink, I love you. I thank you so much for bringing me into K-pop. I can't thank them enough. They're so special to me. And it was really nice to get to listen to all this music again. And I loved it. So thank you for tagging along. And now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to watch I'm So Sick and recommend some Apink B-sides before we go.
Ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. All right, so now it's time to watch their most popular music video, which at the moment is I'm So Sick at 70 million views. I would honestly guess if the other views had not been deleted, I think No 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 would probably be at the top, but we'll never know.
We'll never know now. We'll never know, no.
So, never know. Yeah, never know, no. That's funny. Thank you. Okay. All right. So here comes Apink, I'm So Sick from 2018. Here we go. This opening title card with like the rain in their names, like it feels very serious.
It's so dramatic. Yeah. Yeah, like we said, this was their 7th mini album.
I'm so sick of lying. You gotta know that.
Yeah, so this video is like, yeah, there's a neon glow over the entire thing.
Yeah, and it's so like basically it's a warehouse, and then they go into these like fake rooms.
Like they all have their own little fake room where like there's
each one
broken stuff in it.
Yeah, they get their own little solo set, and one of them is like painting, and one of them is getting dressed, and one of them is eating.
But they're also like making messes and they like look bored. They're like throwing things like they're bored.
Bomi looks stunning.
So good.
She looks so good with black hair, and I feel like she rarely has it.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, and the lyrics of this song, the 일도 없어, like that's kind of like a made, like it's a slight nonsense phrase. They've been doing that, but it's mostly saying like there isn't one more, like I'm not giving you one more chance. And in the lyrics they say like don't call me when you're drunk anymore, like I am tired of your lying. So there's definitely like a grown-up vibe even in the lyrics that like they're talking about a grown-up relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love the choreography for this. They do this little like knee move that I think is so cute. Their outfits in general are more grown up in this. They're wearing like sparkly, like drapey evening gowns. And then one of the dance scenes, they're wearing like black, like
cocktail-y dress, and then there's these like cocktail-y outfits here.
And they're doing crop tops that like actually show tummy in a more noticeable way.
Yeah. Oh, Yoonji looks
because one of them is wearing like a sort of athletic like sports bra and like sweatpants.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're also like, I don't know, they all just like look pissed. Beautiful and pissed. And the teasers for this were them just like in those outfits, like walking out of that elevator, and it was like, oh man, we're all in so much trouble. But it's really beautiful, and this song is like so weird, and it's like it shouldn't work, but it does.
But it does. I love this song.
Oh, a single tear. So drama. Yay! I love my Apink.
Great job, ladies.
Okay, so now is the point in the show where we usually do weekly recommendations, but since I always like to stay on topic for these kinds of episodes, I pulled some favorite B-sides, which was very hard for me to do.
Sure.
Because, like I said, other than those 2 songs I mentioned earlier, I stand by all of this very hard. So I just tried to pick a couple. I'll just say, because I think you should just watch it yourself before I play a clip, but the song Kokok, it's K-O-K, K-O-K, that I mentioned earlier as the should have been the single instead of 5. There's a dance practice for that one, and there's stages for it. So I say just like go seek it out, go look at it, because it's really good. And me playing you a clip isn't going to do anything about it. Another B-side that I love that's also from that Pink Up album, you mentioned it, I think it was the fan song. It's called Always. So that's on Pink Up. Another one that's very important to me because, again, when I fell so deep into this hole, they only had 3 mini albums. I, of course, bought them. And then that was the only K-pop I had, right, for a while. So these songs are very, very special to me, even though they're like not the greatest, or they might not be everybody's taste. But one that I really, really love is called I Need You. Yeah, there's a lot of sound effects in that one, but I really like it. And then let's see, I'll do one more because again, I could do this literally all day. Also from, you mentioned it earlier, but it was the one that they promoted alongside I'm So Sick, and it's called All Right, and it also has a choreography video that's good. They also really made my Panda Shawl heart very happy when they performed that one, because they did one stage in like Pearl Aqua outfits, and I was like, shiny pink rise! But yeah, so I'll stop there. Did you have any others? I know I
do.
played one, but yes, please hit me.
I was going to recommend Promise You, which is the anniversary song that Yoonji wrote back in 2015. We already played a clip of that. I really like it. It's a beautiful, just like pretty acoustic song. But the other song I wanted to recommend, which is kind of different from their usual style, it has like a smoother, like sexier, it has like heavy R&B beats, and it's called Boom Pow Love. It's on the same album as Only One.
Pink Revolution.
And it does sound like, it does, I will admit, remind me of that Charlie XCX song, like boom, clap, breaking my heart,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. But I like it. I like this song.
네가 날 머리부터 발끝까지 덮어놨다 다시 처음부터 끝까지 또 흔들어 넌 like
Boom, pow, love. Yeah, that whistle, that Yoonji whistle in there is classic.
I love it.
That's a really great recommendation.
Yoonji ribs.
That's a really good recommendation. I love that. Anything else?
That is all.
Okay. All right, then we'll stop there. But this was a real joy and real treat for me to get to talk about my favorite girls in the whole world. And if you, by any chance, were stirred by this episode and you want to know more about Apink, please hit me up. I'm full of links and like extra things. Like, I'll help
or
you.
if you were a pink panda and had no one to talk to about it, please reach out because Shannon would love to talk to you.
I would love to talk to you. And where you can reach out to us, we are on social media at AMA K-Pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, AMA K-Pop Pod at gmail.com for emails, and Ask Me About K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube. And we'll be back next week with something. I don't know what, but that we'll figure it out. We always do.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one weird thing to go out on. I'd hoped that maybe someday someone would notice, and no one ever has. But our theme song to this podcast is a barely legal version of an Apink song that my husband wrote. That was from it was a drama soundtrack. I mean, it's on Seven Springs, the repack, and I think it was a drama soundtrack. But the song is called Let Us Just Love. So instead of playing our outro song, I'm going to play the end of this one instead, and you can hear where it came from. So we'll see you next week. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Chonghyun, you're our inspiration.